This is the DBQ for foot conditions, including flat foot, aka pes planus, and it's called a Disability Benefits Questionnaire. So here's some, this is going to be filled out on you for sure. So you want to make sure that you review this. And I'll show you some of the parts that are going to be important for you. A lot of this stuff, I mean, the doctor fills everything out, but it's good to know what kind of boxes he's going to be looking to check. So you're going to need a diagnosis here. And if you look here on the bottom left, foot conditions, including flat foot, have been updated. This is released January 2022. They actually updated all the DBQs. So make sure you go to the VA's website and download the January 2022 edition. You don't want to give the VA a reason to deny your claim because you filled out a outdated DBQ. They actually do stuff like that. Something that should be in the duty to assist, but they do it. So make sure you have the right DBQ. Links in the description. And here's all the conditions here. Flat foot, plantar fasciitis, Morton's neuroma, metatarsalgia, hammer toes, hallux valgus, hallux rigidus, acquired pes cavus, malunion, non-union of tarsal, metatarsal bones, foot injury, which is kind of like a catch-all. And then if you have arthritis, which is going to happen for sure, how bad that is, what type of arthritis it is. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a diagnostic code that matches up with this DBQ, because you don't want to go in and file a claim for a condition that's not on the DBQ and that the VA doesn't rate. So it's important to look through this DBQ, see what you have, and then anticipate to see what the doctor is going to fill out for you. It's a good idea to take this to a private doctor. VA doctors usually won't do it. They might. And have one of these filled out, before you file your claim, so you have something to compare it to. You have a doctor on board. So the first part covers the diagnosis. They're going to talk about the medical history here. The flare-ups, so they actually say flare-ups, and that's what you want to be talking about. If you're feeling kind of halfway decent right now, you don't want to be talking about halfway decent right now. You want to talk about your last flare-up. Do you have functional loss or functional impairment? That's important. You're going to be asked if you have flat feet. You may or you may not. I do. Does the veteran have pain on manipulation of the feet? Yes or no, right or left side, or both sides, which is the bilateral factor. Again, there's that new date, released January 22. And a lot of these things may not apply to you. You're not going to have all these symptoms and diagnosis, but whatever you have, dig in and figure out how the VA rates it, and the symptoms, and make sure everything is documented prior to filing your claim. It's so much easier when you do this before you file your claim versus 3 months after you file it and like, oh no, I should have filled out a DBQ, or I should have studied the DBQ before I went to my C&P exam. If you do all this preparation first, you're going to have a much easier time with your claim. Trust me on that one. Let's see what else. Here's the part, section 4 here, plantar fasciitis. Have you undergone non-surgical treatment? So examples of that would be the taping and the shots. So did they work or did they not work? In my case, this box was checked yes, and then both was checked because I've had non-surgical treatment multiple times for my plantar fasciitis. And of course, it doesn't relieve the symptoms. You don't go in there saying how well your symptoms are relieved. And just FYI, it's coming back. It doesn't go away. You might correct it for a little while. It always comes back. Mine comes back in both of my feet every year. 4C here, they're going to ask you about surgical treatment for plantar fasciitis. Like I said, usually they're not going to go slicing your foot open. If they do, suggest that. I would challenge that anyway. Definitely. I don't want VA doctors cutting on my feet. They might cut my toe off or something like that. And this is the key here. If the veteran has not undergone surgical treatment, was the veteran recommended for surgical intervention but was not a surgical candidate? So this is the part where they actually suggest surgical treatment, which isn't going to happen for most of you guys. But were you recommended and did you deny it? That might hurt you a little bit. But, if you need the surgery, go have the surgery. Hopefully you get a doctor that's halfway decent. Do you have functional loss due to plantar fasciitis? And there's going to be a comment section. Describe the functional loss. So it's all about frequency, duration, and severity of your plantar fasciitis symptoms. And then, of course, if you have other foot conditions, those are all going to be picked up in here as well. That strategy, that's my boot camp. That's what I talk about. I preach it and I teach it. You need a doctor that can help you with a Nexus letter. Check out my med team. Here's an email address. Hit them up. Tell them you need a Nexus.